Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this film today is all going to be about Prague Zoo. I seem to have got myself caught between two lights, one red there, whichever's, so I have to get across to that. Actually, it's probably better for me to wait for this one. I need a tram number 14. This is Lolcha, where I live, Revoluční, and I'm going to Prague Zoo. It's actually a Saturday. I've finally got a weekend here. I didn't really actually mean to have the weekend here. Should normally be at home at weekends, but I was going to visit a friend of mine in Serbia, Pastor Simo Aralovic. Unfortunately, that got called off because of various things, which meant that I didn't have time really to book a flight home for the weekend. So that means I'm stuck here in Prague. I've got a lot to do anyway, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to do something which I wanted to do for some time, namely go to the zoo and take a film for you of Prague Zoo, as well as see it obviously for myself. And normally I'd have got up bright and early in the morning to do that. It's actually 1:30 now, which is, I've checked all the website, it's open till 18, but it basically means I don't have that much time now. Maybe I shall come back on foot or something if I don't get enough value from that trip just in 4 hours, but I need a tram number 14 to go there, apparently. That will take me 5 of the 6 kilometres that is needed to go to that zoo. So tram number 14 apparently, I believe, stops here, but I'm not sure of it. Yes, that says 14. And it goes from here, which is Lolcha Trida, down to Nadrži Holešovice, Ortenovo, Náměstí, Dělnička, Manění, Libenský most, and that's pretty much where I have to get out, I think, at that point. So I suppose there's a way of doing it in the metro as well, but that seems to be a little bit closer the way it goes. So I'm waiting for tram number 14 and going to the zoo. The reason I couldn't get out of here until 14:30 is because I have builders in the flat that I have here. Oh, there's the Aero Express coming in from the airport once every half hour. Been on that many times, and these builders were looking at the gas. I don't even have much going on by way of gas, but they needed to get into the whole, every single flat in the block, in that particular, you know, part of it, which from up to the bottom down that particular area. I don't know where the 133 goes. I could have checked and see if that goes my way, but it doesn't go actually. It only goes to Staroměstská, which isn't where I want to go at all. And so I had to stay in. First day, and that's the third day they've been doing it. First they came on Wednesday, and when I arrived off the train, I went there first just to drop my case off, and there was the flat owner, and he chatted with me for a long time about matters, which kind of put me a little bit late as well. And then after that, he said, "Oh, on Friday, can you be here Friday morning, because my mother will have to come, otherwise I can't be here, and she's 83 years of age or something." So I thought, well, I better stay. And he said, "How long will it be?" And he said, "Well, it's a couple of hours." In the end, they're supposed to come at 8 o'clock and be gone by 10. Well, 10's when they actually they arrived at about 9:30, got working really on me at about 10, and didn't leave till 2. So that's so much for that. That was my Friday really then massacred. So that's why I couldn't really go on to Serbia anymore, and I had to call that off. And over this weekend I'll be doing some work, going down to Bratislava later, but I just wanted this particular time, the little bit of time I've got to myself, to do a couple of interesting things, one of which is go to the zoo. But since I've been cooped up in the flat for the earlier part of today, I started to do Gold List, and I'm actually going to, I've brought my Czech one with me in my bag here, and I'm actually going to try and also break my Gold List record today, since I haven't got any distractions. and for the breaks of doing the goal list I'll be able to do the, you know, walking in the zoo, or having a bit of a walk back towards home, and then just walk for maybe an hour, or do things for an hour and then do a bit more gold list. So I keep coming back to the gold list with adequate breaks in between, and see if I can't actually cover more words today than any other day. I've already got 100 Japanese words behind me in the morning, and then start having about 50 on the check so far, while I was just in the flat still, and that was taking breaks. I was reading, you know, Dawkins' fairy tale, The Greatest Show on Earth. So I was having a bit of a read of that, to see if he had any better ammo than he had in the first part of the book. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it now. It's interesting, but not conclusive or convincing me in any way. So, oh, here we go. Like I say, you put the camera on, something happens. Round he goes, round Dlorka there, paying scant regard to the red light, and I seem to be a little bit short on the ability to find a tram number 14. Maybe this is it. The trams today, as you'll see, have got actually this one doesn't have the Czech flag is behind it, but some of the trams are wearing flags today. I think it's the anniversary of something to do with the Second World War, but I'm not quite sure what. This number 26 goes in a different direction. I don't need that one, so I shan't be taking the number 26 either. Let's have a look and see where. I don't recommend that restaurant, by the way. If you are seeing their Indian food isn't that good, you'll see a lot of adverts for that, but I really don't recommend it. Why not? Because the food was not tasty, very expensive, and badly served. It doesn't look good, it doesn't taste good, and it's overpriced. There's another place, Khajuraho or something like that, which has got also very expensive Indian food in comparison with what you pay in Warsaw, but at least the food is extremely good, whereas here it was really not tasty at all, and the service was also absolutely abysmal. So I would avoid that. I'm never going back to it, even though it's nicely placed right next to my home, but if you can call it home where you live 2 days a week or 2 nights a week. Let's have another look and see how often these things on Saturdays, which is Sobota, this thing's supposed to be 3 times an hour or twice an hour, 20 past and 40 minutes past. No, it's no more than that. At 13:41, it's supposed to be here, and it hasn't been, obviously, because I've been talking longer than that. But it should be coming any moment, I suppose. Hopefully, it'll be the next one along. In Warsaw, they're not far off timetable. I don't know about here, but in Warsaw, they're fairly reasonably close to the timetable these days. There was a time when it was just kind of for guidance purposes only, but as far as this one's concerned, let's have to see. It says 13:41, and that'll be a more modern one because it's got the wheelchair on it, which means a low base to go into it. They're usually the new ones. And have to see this, by the way, while I'm talking. I don't know why I'm talking so long, actually. It's wasting my camera, but this is the place where you've got these marzipan figures. Some of them like made from Disney, some of them making fruit, some of them are Flintstones. Some of them are not for children at all. But the worst of them appears to have disappeared. There used to be people, you know, quite almost pornographic ones at one point, but they've taken them off again. These are the famous Mozart Kugels. they appear not to have those rude marzipan figures anymore. Maybe the owner of this shop's been converted to Christianity or something and has removed them from the window. There we are. Like I say, have the camera on, something happens. There's a couple going in a vintage car. They even gave me, the lady even gave me a queenly wave, saying that she's being filmed. They love it, don't they? Okay, I'll turn this off for now. Things will stop happening then, hopefully. Otherwise I wish I didn't turn it off. But I can't just keep it on indefinitely, it will bore you. And we've got the zoo coming up. So it's a few minutes later and they're still not, this stupid tram still has not appeared, which is really annoying. I wish I'd taken a taxi, because everything conspires in this city to slow you down and make your plans not work the way you intended them to. It seems to be a Czech speciality. Really seriously, it's crazy sometimes here, and very frustrating. You don't get this kind of nonsense going on in Poland so much. So basically, there's a pair of locals there, bohemians as you might call them, and basically it was supposed to be, the guys didn't finish on Friday, so they said, will you be here tomorrow, yeah? And I said, yeah, well, alright then, if I have to be, but let's make it snappy because I want to go to the zoo. And they of course said, well, yeah, we'll be there at 10 and just take an hour of your time, yeah, so until 11. And as you know, I got out of there at 1:30, so they're not very good at keeping their word at all. And the tram line is not at all good at keeping its word either. So there we go, there's a number 8 which goes to Podbaba, and I know that goes a different way to the way I need to go as well, so that Podbaba's on the other side of the other curve of the river to where I need to be. Theoretically walking distance, but you'd have to swim part of that walking distance from there, from where that goes to. So I'm not up to that. And so still we're waiting. So I've got my ticket, not yet. This is a ticket. It's not yet stamped at the bottom, as you can see. When I get onto this number 14, when it finally comes here, I shall put that in to be stamped. That's absolutely terrible. You can see a lot of people are waiting for the 14 now, that I was at the beginning, and so off it goes. Now I'll turn this off again. Normally you would take, as you see it's turned off to the left, that one. You'd normally take your kids to the zoo. I feel a bit bad, it's a little bit like instead of Daddy's taking us to the zoo tomorrow, zoo tomorrow, zoo tomorrow. It's like Daddy's taking himself to the zoo tomorrow. It's a bit sad to go without your kids, but there you go. You can't take your kids to another country when all you're doing is working normally. So but I'll make it up to them. I'll take them to the Warsaw Zoo an extra time. Maybe have a film there as well. And one place which I'd like to go and film, which I haven't been for a few years, and I wasn't filming when I did used to go there, I was just taking photos, although there is a gallery of it on one of my films, or in fact it went over 2 films, just gallery shot basically, was of the Warsaw Botanical Garden in Powszyn, which is certainly worth a better film now that I've got this camera, so I expect I'll take them there as well and have a film there. At least Sophie, and perhaps 1 or 2 of the smaller ones as well. Just to give them a nice trip out, nice memories, nice time, quality time with Daddy, which unfortunately I don't get at the weekends with him if I'm in a completely different place like now, but what could I do? I had to be there now on Saturday, it turned out, so I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't planned to be away from home anyway. If I was planning to be in Warsaw anyway, I could, I had to basically call off going to Serbia, but I would have to call off going home anyway, so it's a pain in the neck. And of course they've asked me, will I be here tomorrow, so it isn't even finished yet, so really annoying. And I'm supposed to be going down to Bratislava. I don't know when yet though, because I haven't checked the train times. Maybe I will try and be all Sunday here, and if this takes much longer I'll probably call off my zoo visit, because what's the point in going there just for a few moments? I really don't get it. I may as well go to work now and do the zoo tomorrow. Daddy's taking himself to the zoo tomorrow. Shall I do that? And then just take the taxi there in the morning. I think that'd probably be more wise. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I've made my mind up. Zoo tomorrow. So basically what I'm doing is there we go. It's because to show that music has a very broad meaning sometimes. But so I've made my mind up, as I said in the last thing, to do my work that I had to do today. Today being Saturday, and take the zoo tomorrow, which of course is the day which normally is set aside for us anyway, is Sunday. Although, you know, I'm in two minds of which is actually the Sabbath, and so usually I take 2 days off, both Saturday and Sunday, and then hopefully whichever Sabbath it is really, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, whichever way, I'm covered. I don't know whether I shall look out a church to go to in the morning, but certainly it will be very restful, and the ability to consider the wonders of creation and the Creator, of course, to go to the zoo. I don't think it's sinful to go to a zoo on Sunday, so and share that with you tomorrow. And I shall do the work I didn't manage to do because of all of these interruptions this week. I shall do that now. I say now, in about 5 minutes when I get there, I suppose. Mind you, haven't eaten lunch yet, so maybe on the way I shall pop in and get some Chinese or something, or get some sandwiches from here. That might be the best way of doing that one.